Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the worship service of the First Unitarian Church of Hobart. My name is Barb Langle, and I participate in the life of the church by serving on the Board of Trustees. We are a religious community of people with diverse beliefs and shared values. Our diverse beliefs are expressed in our 6 sources, and our shared values are expressed in our 7 principles. Both can be found online at uua.org. Together, we strive to grow spiritually, build community, and live our values in the world. I have a couple announcements from Michelle that she gave me. This afternoon, Temple Israel and St. Mary's of the Lake are inviting members of our congregation to the showing of the film, The Letter. It's at Temple Israel in Gary at 1:30. The film features people directly affected by climate change around the world. Discussion will take place following the film. Meet and get to know others who are interested in taking action to care for our common home. Light refreshments will be served. All are welcome. The event is free. If you are interested in carpooling after coffee hour, let Michelle know. Faith in Action is participating with other congregations in the area for the Sharing of Harvest Thanksgiving food drive again this year. We will be collecting bags for the People's Turkey Drive, which collects food for Thanksgiving meals for families in need of Northwest Indiana. The bags cost approximately $40 to $50 a piece, which include dry ingredients for Thanksgiving meal, along with a $20 gift certificate to be used towards a turkey. The list for what is to be included in the bags will be posted in the parish hall today. If you would like to donate instead of shop for the items, please contact Michelle or Tracy Farrell, and please have your bags in by November 12th. The in-gathering meal with other congregations will meet and collect bags will take place on November 18th at the First the First United Methodist Church in Hobart. Time will be announced, but all congregants are welcome to attend. Pastor Tom?
So, who here likes being good at stuff? If you do, raise your hand. Only about half of you. Wow. Amazing. Well, who here likes the idea of a thriving, brimming, vital congregational community to be a part of? Raise your hand. Okay, about 2/3, 3/4 of you. Who recognizes that there's lots of people in the world today who feel a sense of being on their own, kind of feeling isolation, not enough connection in their lives? So if you raise your hand once, put a hand up. If you raise your hand twice, put 2 hands up. If you raise your hand 3 times, put 3 hands up in the air. So, and you can put them down. So, in light of all of that, remember the 5th of November, because after the worship service, we'll be doing a workshop on greeting and welcoming, and whether you want to get involved in that more in this congregation or in the world at large, we would love to have you be a part of that so we can go on our faith journey together, and hope to see you there.
Okay, thank you. Joan?
Hi. I just wanted to share with you that I'm in the Apollo Chorus of Chicago, and I have a bunch of these little sheets with our full schedule on them. A lot of the things are sacred music, but and that includes the Handel's Messiah at Holy Name Cathedral this year, and then the second one is in Evanston at Alice Millar Chapel of Northwestern University. But I wanted to make sure that you would understand that the first concert is free. It's on November 5th at 3 o'clock. Hello. I don't know about that. Whoever isn't doing the other thing, which is very important, it's at the Key Rhine Center in Oh, you will, good. See, then it's just a carpool up to the south side and find a place to park, and it's a free concert. So I wanted to share that with you.
Thank you, Joan.
Posted like on the weekly letter or something?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
In the newsletter, if you want to,
Okay. Do you want me to leave
give me
this?
that, and I'll make sure it gets
Thank
in the
you.
newsletter.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And this month only, we will not be having our board meeting this Wednesday. It'll be Tuesday, the 24th. Of course, everybody's invited. That's why I want to let you know it'll be changed. That's it? Okay. When Pastor Tom is not in the pulpit, we invite a guest or a member of our congregation to speak. Today we have somebody who's grew up in this church. We are currently streaming our services online. The joys and sorrow portion of our service, however, is private, and we will take a break at that time. Other than that, the service will be recorded and will be available for future viewing on Facebook, YouTube, and the church website. Now, please let your Facebook and Twitter friends know that you are attending worship with hashtag First Unitarian Hobart. And silence your devices and take a deep breath. Relax and join us in the spirit of reverence.
Thank you. Will you all join me in lighting the chalice, please? We gather this hour as people of faith with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We would like to seek and hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, and celebration in the life we share together. It's not my finger, it's a stick.
Good morning. Please join me in reading the responsive reading number 490 in the gray hymnals. Oh, 490. 490. Wild geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles to the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again.
Now please rise and body your spirit for the opening hymn, number 76 in your gray hymnal, For Flowers That Bloom About Our Feet. Please remain standing for the affirmation of faith, covenanting, greeting your neighbor, and doxology. Number 76.
Please join me in the affirmation of faith. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament. Service is its prayer. And this is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now please join me in what is going to be a regular thing here, and it'll be covenanting. I ask you just to repeat after me the words that are in your order of service. And think about these words as we speak them and hear them. For all the ways that we have neglected to participate in the life of our congregation, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. For all the ways that we have not supported the goals of the congregation, may we forgive ourselves and begin again in love. For all the ways that we have not accepted and civilly engaged with challenging situations, may we forgive ourselves and each other and begin again in love. And now is the time when we greet our neighbors. We realize that everyone cannot attend in person. We extend a special welcome to all who are joining us virtually, and thank you to our tech team for making the live stream and recording possible. For those in the sanctuary, please take a moment to greet your neighbors by waving your hands and letting the warmth of your smile fill the spaces between us.
This congregation expresses our deepest sorrows and greatest joys in community. We believe that a sorrow shared is diminished and a joy shared is magnified. We pause, listening to what arises in our hearts. If anybody would like to share today, I will come to you. Please stand and share your name.
She's bossing me around. Good morning. Welcome, and I'm going to read the story for the child in each of us today. And make of it what you will, is what I can say. This is a story called I Just Ate My Friend by Heidi McLennan. I just ate my friend. Flip it. I just ate my friend. He was a good friend, but now he's gone. Hello, would you be my friend? No, you are too big. Hello, would you be my friend? No, you are too small. Hello, would you be my friend? No, you're too scary. Hello, would you be my friend? No, you are too slow. Hello, would you be my friend? No. No. Hello, would you be my friend? Never mind. Goodbye. What if I'd never find another friend? Hello. Next page. Next page. Hello, I will be your friend. Oh, I just ate my friend. Thank you. That's the story. Make of it what you will.
And now please rise and bow your spirit for the middle hymn, number 15 in your gray hymnal, The Lone Welfare. Number 15.
Hello again. Good morning. Thank you, Mom, for reading that story. That was my mom. My name is Caitlin DuBios, and as Barb said earlier, I grew up here. I grew up in this church. So what does it mean to have grown up here in this place, in this very place? I'll come back to this room because, yes, I also grew up in this room, but this place, our region, the region, this very place. What does it mean to have grown up here? It's been 15 years since I've lived here, and a little over a year since I decided to move back. The title of this service is This Very Place, because the title of the service when I was welcomed into this congregation as a baby was this very room. Being welcomed in the Unitarian, or is the Unitarian version of being baptized. In the Unitarian Universalist tradition, I looked this up because I do not remember. When a baby or a child is welcomed into a congregation, the congregation is making a commitment to support the child's growth and development. The congregation promises to nurture the child's spiritual journey, committed to live in love and justice. You all did that for me. And it was here, in this very room. I know the title of the sermon because my mom sticks pieces of paper in books, and years ago I found the order of service from that day. It was June 17th, 1990. It was the flower communion, one of my very favorite services and traditions here. And we sang, well, you all sang, I was a baby, for the beauty of the earth, just as we will in a little bit. I know that the order of service would have been typed on a typewriter, and I loved that typewriter when I got a little older. I have memories of sneaking into the office with other kids after racing up from downstairs after RE, the sounds it made loading the paper, seeing how it all worked. Still, when I go downstairs, it all feels so small. The cabinets and the tables, they haven't grown as I have. And this sanctuary, this room, would not have looked all that different. There was different carpet then, right? And the railings weren't here. The pews that you all are sitting in, those are, of course, the same. And this pulpit, the same. From the order of service on June 1990, I know that Sandy Waters and Jerry Ashmore were the co-RE directors. In June 1990, I would have been just barely 3 months old in this gold light with my parents holding me. In a dress that my grandmother from Missouri had sewn. God knows what my brother was up to. I always heard stories of him crawling underneath the pews during services from Dottie, Joyce, and Doris, who sat in the back. To be from this place, to be from this room, this very room. I can talk for days about this topic and what it meant to me to be from this church, from this congregation, what it has meant to be held in that commitment, your commitment, what it has meant and sounded like to run down this aisle as a kid when the grown-ups weren't around, and what it meant to hear the organ vibrate in the balcony with the ladybugs at the end of summer, and what it was like to ring the church bell at the beginning of the service with anxious adults standing over you, making sure you don't pull that rope too hard because the bell could flip? How many times did I recite in the basement, "This is our circle of chalice light where peace and love is burning bright"? Do you all know this? A place for wonder, a place for fun. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Anyway, that is not this service. Today, this service is about place. Today is about growing up outside these walls. I was on a date several years ago. We were at the Met in New York City, and the person asked me where I was from. Without thinking, I said, "Dirty snow." At that time, I was a union organizer, as I have been for the last 11 years, and I was working in Newark, New Jersey on a campaign to organize people who make the food that goes on planes. I was working on a campaign to organize people who make the food that goes on planes. Dirty snow. It was November or December, and I was surrounded by it again. I had never felt more at home. So again, what does it mean to grow up here? Potholes and prairies. I thought as a kid growing up here that it was steel mills that made clouds. I remember my dad being at the wheel with me in the back seat of the car, wondering about those people who made clouds, working in those big buildings, wondering how far the clouds went and what it was like to make them. Being back home, moving back has been a gift of redefining, of relearning place again, this place again, all over again. Dirty snow, potholes and prairies, clouds from the mills, the smell of fall that does in fact smell like a football game despite not having gone to one for 15 years. It's the smell and the sound of crickets and katydids and the cicadas and the frogs. It's opening up the milkweed and seeing all the seeds. It's the goldenrod and our green woods with such tall, lean trees and ferns that cover the ground. It's our sandy dirt and our clay soil. It's the acorns falling on the roof. The acorns and the sounds of here, the smells of here, the wind, the rustling of leaves. Growing up, once I got to a certain age, I felt life didn't happen here. In fact, it happened everywhere but here. After I graduated from Hobart High School, I spent the rest of the summer working at the Y, and I went as far as I could, as different as I could. I went to college after I got waitlisted in Massachusetts. I joke about it now, but I distinctly remember thinking then, that's where smart people live. That's where fancy people live. Of course, what I was saying is that that's where better people live. Looking back, there was this contrast that probably happens in a lot of small towns like this one. You either imagine being here forever, for generations, or you want to run, trapped by it, resenting it, feeling like it's everything you're not. Going to school in Massachusetts was far, it was different, and for a long time, it felt like I wasn't supposed to be there either. In turn, it became its own betrayal of sorts. But I had a lot of shame coming from here that I carried with me there. I met people from all over the country, all over the world, and here I was, just this girl from this really specific part of Indiana. This place that felt so hard for me to describe. Not Indiana, not Chicago, this in-between, this both and, this neither. I spent my whole life in this town, but I had no way of talking about what it was, no less allow it to define me. In some attempts, I would say I was from the armpit of Chicago, the reddest town in the bluest county of a pretty red state, though in 2008 we did go for Obama. That was the year I graduated. Here in Northwest Indiana, we had these endless sand dunes and a beach. You could open your eyes underwater in the lake. Take that, saltwater people. Though, you probably shouldn't, because it turns out those steel mills do not make clouds. Hobart was probably what you thought of when hearing about American Midwest small towns. On Friday nights, downtown was packed with people going to football games at the Bricky Bowl. I can remember going with my dad, sitting up in the stands and him teaching me about the flags and the lines. Once I figured out it was kind of unique and fascinating to people on the East Coast to be from an actual place like this, I would look up and show a picture of Johann Petrovich, the Hobart High School mascot, a bricklayer, a muscly guy with unknown origins, and sing the Hobart fight song. One reason my family ended up here was that my mom's dad lived here briefly as a boy before moving to Chicago, being a boxer. He went to school where I went to middle school, where the Bricky Bowl is or was. Hobart was a place you felt safe, unless you didn't. If you were black or brown or gay, I learned this lesson best after participating in an interfaith group focused on anti-racism in the area because of this church. Being part of that group, I was 12 or 13. At the time, I was the youngest in the group. It was my first time going to a mosque. It was also my first time being in space with other black kids from Gary and Maryville, outside of sporting events or the Y, breaking the spoken and unspoken lines of growing up here in Hobart. As part of this group with this mission of anti-racism, we thought, how could we bring people across these lines together? How and where? The suggestion to have some kind of gathering in Gary was brought up. I remember saying, well, it's not safe to go to Gary. No one will go. Something that had been embedded in me. Instantly and without hesitation, a black boy in the group said, well, it's not safe to go to Hobart. It's not safe for me to go to Hobart. Oh. I remember asking my parents what he meant. Oh. I learned those lessons again about safety and a little later in high school while trying to start an LGBTQ ally group, but being told by school administrators and older kids that it wasn't safe to do so. After that, I can remember I attempted to start a Young Democrats club. Surely that has to be okay. But I was told I needed to start a Young Republicans club, to be fair. Looking back, I can see myself so clearly looking, searching for my identity, my sense of self, looking, searching to find myself aloud. There is this sense of belonging and not belonging that I think we all struggle with in some kind of way. Who and where do I get to be myself, most myself, all myself? Where is it safe or not safe? Who is watching? What are the rules, spoken and unspoken? And what are the consequences of breaking them? Who might break them with me? When I moved back to the area last year, I got thrown back into figuring out exactly those questions again. When my dad got sick at the very end of 2018, moving back home, moving here, felt like the most obvious thing, the clearest thing I had felt in a while. I was living in Seattle at that time, but when I came to the hospital in Chicago after he got his diagnosis, it was clear. I would leave work, move back. I can remember exactly where I was when I knew this. It was clear. But my dad died too quickly, and I didn't get a chance to do what I had planned. There is so much about that experience that I want to tell you all that I still haven't. Mostly how my dad's hand felt in the hospital and what it was like when he asked me for updates. How I learned in a new way how some moments call to be witnessed. And when, on the last night when he was alive, how he, my brother, and I sang together the hymn, Morning Has Broken. You do not have to be good. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. My dad died the same day as Mary Oliver in January 2019. I love and still love to think about them together watching us. After I heard that, a friend of mine told me the moon was really big that night. When I returned here just over a year ago, when I moved back, all I felt was the pain of here. My pain, my own sadness, but it wasn't just mine and it wasn't just me. I felt it in this whole region, this whole place. It felt radiating to me, heavy, deep, a sense of loss. Shoulders, our collective shoulders weighted. My eyes became open to the levels of pollution in this place, the trash and the waste, that dirty snow, the winter and the hard water, the pavement and the highways, missing your exit and having to drive so much longer. Billboard after billboard, brownfields and sacrifice zones, the abandonment in Gary, the intensity of these spoken and unspoken lines of violence, of what a public health crisis looks like because of some of those lines, and the pure, the obvious racism of it. When I first moved into the house I'm renting, I needed so many things. One after another I needed, and right when I was done, I needed something else. Box after box was coming for me. And eventually, quickly, it felt like those boxes are coming for me. They're coming at all of us, and at such high costs, removed from us, getting closer in some ways, farther in others. As a union organizer, I have thought a lot about ways in which corporations divide us, the ways companies use race and class and immigration status to divide us. Flashy things and promises, here I felt divided, isolated in the fortress of stuff I couldn't really afford. Stressed and needing more, they got me. The land knows you even when you are lost. A quote from the book Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, a professor of environmental and forest biology in upstate New York and citizen of the Potawatomi Nation. The land knows you even when you are lost. I could feel that line in my body as I read it this last July while sitting on my couch with the windows open. The land knows you even when you are lost, a sigh, a grounding, a relief. The land knows you, that rang in my mind, oh. A day or two after I read that, I went on a walk with my mom one Sunday after church in Deep River, near where we used to have our church picnics. We don't anymore, do we? No, okay. Funnily, that's where we went after I was welcomed here in the congregation to take pictures to Deep River. As we were walking there where we had at least 100 times before, my mom does this thing where when she walks, where she stops to randomly feel a leaf or a branch or a stem between her fingers. And then she'll keep going. That Sunday, like this Sunday, just warmer and not raining, I found myself walking behind her, looking at the soil, our unique soil, the ferns and the trees and the plants. I didn't know the names of them, how we stopped and started. Oh, the land knows you, a grounding I needed. Since reading that book, I think a lot about land. Whose land am I on, and how do we cherish it, knowing the loss, the sacrifice, the violence that came from me getting to live here, and seeing what it looks like now in so many places and parts of the world. Most visibly, right now in Palestine and Israel, to face war, to face genocide connected to land. Reading that book gave me the words to shift in critical ways what I had been seeing, feeling. How do we move away from a relationship with nature that is based on exploitation and domination, but instead respect, reciprocity? One that gets us to more simplicity, one where we see how things work and be in conversation with it. Like the typewriter when I was a child here, the typewriter that we used to write up the order of service on, how you could see how it worked. A 5-minute walk or less from here behind the church that way, there's a stream I spent whole summers in. A world with my 2 best friends. We'd crawl down to the water, jump from rock to rock, climb over fallen branches, trying not to fall in. I can remember one time falling in. We would hang from the bleachers that the stream connected us to. We would scale up the train tracks and balance on the rails, 1 foot in front of the other, until we got too tired or went too far. Searched for the rumored tunnels that connected to the brickyards. What does it mean to have grown up here? It has been easier than ever in my life to be present, living here, to be in the moment, living here. I have found that what does it mean to have grown up here has been another way to say, what does it mean to be present here, present like a child here, to be here with wonder and excitement? We, as people of the region, get to exist in many worlds, in many contradictions, in many tensions. And in many ways, I think that is the best sense of who we are. We get to live, seeing, and experiencing the multitudes of what it means to be here. There is something distinctly about here where there is no cloth to cover that. We are a little closer to the bone. I don't know what my personal trajectory of being here is or what it will look like. All I know is I can't wait till those milkweeds are ready to open so I can feel the silk between my fingers and the seeds. That I want to fight back with all of you against the injustices that we see and be curious about what we don't. That I want to shake and be shaken into the knowing of what it means to live here, to be present in it. With dirty snow, potholes, and prairies, I do believe that we, people of the in-between, the tension, the both and the neither, straddling the contradictions, we are really important in this time now, you and I. We can hold so much. We can hold more than many can when we choose to feel it, to recognize it and accept it. Holding means knowing. It means seeing. It is a weight of responsibility, and if we choose to go grounded in that truth, the pain and the beauty of this earth, we can help lead the way. We are important in that. We are unique in that, and we are needed in that, you and I. I do think our world is in a critical moment and will continue to be so for some time. I think things will get a lot worse, a lot harder before it gets better. I am fearful in that. Who and what will be lost in that? I think about how silencing it was for me all those years to not claim what it meant to be from here, and how freeing it has meant to redefine, relearn, and know better. How in doing so has brought me back to such hope despite that fear, such fortitude despite that fear. With dirty snow, potholes, and prairies, I have to say, I am so grateful to be in it with you, to be here, to be planted all together here. May we go and find and fight for peace in all of its forms. Amen. I lost the order of service. What's next? Sorry. Offering. Now is the time where we do the offering. Thank you, Carl.
Now is the time in our service for the offering. We give to remind ourselves of how many gifts we have to offer. We give to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We give because we believe in music and friendship. We give with the faith that together we have enough. The money in the wicker baskets goes to sustaining the mission of our community, and the money in the cups goes to a charity chosen by the Faith in Action Ministry. This month, the money from the cups goes to Hearts in Motion, helping needy families have a better holiday season. For those not here with us today, there is an online link for both one-time and regular donations. And it looks like we have the volunteers. For your prayers, your presence, and your service, your gifts, we are truly thankful and grateful.
And now please rise and bow your spirit as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth.
The closing words are number 483 in your hymnal, your gray hymnal. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty on the water and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Wendell Berry. Please join me in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. I invite everybody to come to the parish hall for coffee and conversation and a few snacks. Thank you.